it also helps to have somebody who's as remarkably talented as Trevor Lawrence be essentially assured, if you so chose, to take him top the draft, and you did. What have you learned about Trevor that you might not have already known from seeing him in college and knocking maybe on his door in college and covering him in college? What have you learned about him?
Yeah, I knew Trevor, not personally, but I knew him a little bit. We shook hands and said hi a few times. Obviously, I'm very close with Coach Sweeney. I know Clemson very well, from my TV days and also coaching days. Great respect for the program, but, you just don't know. You don't know until you know. And here he comes. We weren't allowed to talk to him during the process in person. We did a bunch of Zoom calls with him. We did a bunch of phone calls with him, a bunch of research. There's no way that – and the cool thing about this, Rich, is that everybody had speculation he was going to be the number one pick, and so did our owner. And I hired two guys with really extensive NFL experience in Schottenheimer and Bevel, and we went on a good 4 to 5 week deep dive into there are some excellent quarterbacks out there in this NFL draft. You're going to see a bunch of these guys play for a long time, and we can't miss this one. So, in our very strong opinion, obviously, he earned the right to be the number one pick, and since he's been part of our organization, he's been an A+. His work ethic, his community involvement, his humility in front of the veterans, it's been a lot of fun to watch this develop.
And what about the pre-draft conversation, certainly in our world, maybe as we were bored waiting for the draft to actually take place, about his comments that from his coach, he wouldn't need football, his high school coach, doesn't really need football in the end and in the long run, and potentially his lack of losses in the world, not having a chip on his shoulder, and that might not suit him for the NFL game. I don't subscribe to that, but I just wanted to put that general conversation in front of you, Coach Urban Meyer, now that we're clear of the draft.
Yeah, Rich, I'll be honest with you. When I first read it, I was a little bit like probably the world, like, wait a minute, let me read this again. And then I did have a conversation, and we had a long conversation, and he told me the story that it was hours upon hours of interviews and with whoever wrote the story, and then it wasn't a reflection of what actually, there's some certain things that were said, and I've coached players, I'd like to believe I am too as well, that are deep in their faith, and your faith tells you not to serve other than one God, and that's he lives that. And football is not his God, is the message he wanted to get out. But he's as competitive as you can get. He loves the game. There is no hesitancy on our part. But I remember reading that, and you can imagine my phone blowing up, and what in the world's going on here? Does he eat, breathe, and sleep football? And is he, can he compete? Does he want to compete? And those answers are those questions all been answered for his body of work since he's been playing.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.